Welcome back to the Broad Street Benchwarmers podcast. My name is Adam Den, and I have Michael Cormelos and Ethan Liditis here with me on this fine Friday afternoon.
It's
This is
finally
great,
happened.
gentlemen. How are we?
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're good. I'm here. I know it's crazy. I'm here. I'll try to be here more often. But
This has to be the first time in over a year.
It's been
no,
since.
no, we did the preseason
Yep.
things.
Okay.
Yep.
It's been only 6 months.
Been the
5 months.
entire
5 months.
season, the entire
But you had
Entire
what we
NFL
thought
season.
about before the season, and now you
and it went
have.
really bad. It went so bad.
It went bad. I would say it went really bad.
Yeah,
I think
I
we
said
should
Eagles
have.
over
Especially,
Bengals.
I'm gonna try to put together a montage of the lowlights, but I think I want to include the Carolina Panthers winning the NFC South. I think
Which
that was
which
a pop.
y'all convinced me into
Yep.
believing, but
Yep. I
The
would
Texans
put
winning 5 games.
who?
oh yeah, we
You two
also
having the
Texans
Texans
lose
win
Yep.
that.
5
The
games.
Texans sucking. That is true. But we had some good ones. We picked the Packers to make the playoffs
Yeah, yeah,
all rounds.
Yeah.
So I think we should get some. Oh, you didn't?
yeah. No,
I had to
I'm
win
pretty
at
sure I
least
did
8
as well.
games.
I
Sorry,
did.
which is
I
true.
did. Yeah.
I
In
want
the
to say I had
NFC
the
But you had
Lions
the
winning.
Browns, so I think that makes up for it. I think
Oh,
you were
wow,
the only
man.
one who
Yeah,
had the
Browns.
Browns. Baltimore. Everybody was good on
Yeah, we all
Baltimore.
love Baltimore. And
Somebody
then
had Baltimore in the Super Bowl. In the top
so
right corner.
we
Somebody
did
had
that
the
right, yeah.
Ravens and the Niners, which up until a week ago was pretty accurate. Both of us,
I was so close.
and both of us had the team now representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, I believe. No, you had Buffalo, or no,
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I forgot.
Yeah, I had the Bengals.
We both had the Bengals.
And we can't really
No, you can't.
That's not,
kind
yeah.
of a wash. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a
But
wash.
I picked the Eagles, so
Yep, we did do that. That is something we did, and
I had the Eagles winning
I did say
15
they would
games.
win 11 games.
Yep.
And y'all were like, "Oh my god!" That
I
couldn't-
had 12 on
I
the
had
dot.
15.
I was right, and
That was not a good call
well,
by me.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I didn't expect Brian Johnson to,
No.
die.
Well, I think that's a
It
talk
was-
we'll
it was
save
really a team
for
effort.
the
It was a
the
team.
off-season recap. But
Yeah.
it was a total collapse,
Yeah.
and yet we stand here with the team that they defeated just a year ago in the NFC Championship game, the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC.
Mhm.
It will be the Niners and the Chiefs facing off in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. So we're going to give you
Good match.
our breakdown. We're going to talk some matchups and then just pick this game and what an incredible game it's going to be. So I'll let you guys just kick it off. What do you think of this matchup? Some things you want to highlight as we move into Super Bowl Sunday here.
We'll let Ethan talk. It's the long
Okay.
waited.
So this feels like it feels so easy to pick the Niners because, like how we talked about the Eagles, they are the most complete roster in the NFL. Like there's no weak position. Like interior offensive line. Okay, that's literally it.
And even still, like,
Yeah, and it's still fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's average.
and their defense is elite. I think Fred Warner might be
Mhm.
the best linebacker in the game, and him on number 87. I'll just say number 87. Will probably he should be able to do good. I mean, you saw what happened last year with our linebackers on Travis Kelsey. It was really bad. And let's see, the Chiefs. They on paper look way inferior to the Niners. Like we know about how shaky the offense was, how bad the receivers were. The defense is the good part, obviously, which is usually the other way around. But
Yeah, normally is.
yeah, I don't really know how to feel because it's probably this generation's best quarterback in his fourth Super Bowl, and he's what,
Yeah.
like 28?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's hard to bet
It's
against
crazy.
him. But also the Niners are just so stacked on both sides of the ball. And that's something that KC can't really say. I mean,
Mhm.
they obviously have their guys like Pacheco, Kelsey. Their offensive line's pretty good across the board, but yeah, I'm just gonna hear all your arguments and then I'll make my mind up. Which after the Carolina thing, I don't know if I should do that anymore.
It's a rough
Yeah,
time.
I think this is gonna be a really defensive game. I mean, if you told me that these teams would be in the Super Bowl on in the beginning in the preseason, and you told me that it was gonna be a defensive game, I would have thought you were crazy. I would have thought that this game would end, 41-38, like Kansas City or something crazy like that. But you gotta look at like how good both these defenses have been, especially in the playoffs. And I know we do the thing with San Francisco. It was sketchy in Green Bay. It was sketchy in Detroit. But when they needed to make plays, they did, which is the biggest part of what you need to do as a defense. Even if you're having a bad game, you make plays when you need to. That's very important. So I think we still have to look at San Francisco's defense and still respect them. And then obviously Kansas City's defense has been lethal. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo, head coaching in the next 3 years. I mean, he's done a beautiful job with this offense. This defense. Sorry, I mean, the linebackers, the secondary, the D line.
Amazing for the offense.
Matt Nagy's been doing awful. Not at all. I mean, the way those linebackers have been playing well. Drew Tranquil, Willie Gay, Nick Bolton. I mean, it's a really good group. And I'm not a Nick Bolton guy, so it's big to hear me say. Then the D line's obviously great, and then the corners. I mean, Jerry Sneed and Trent McDuffie, like two first-team All-Pro caliber players. One of them was, I don't know if Sneed was or not. He didn't allow a touchdown. What was McDuffie was?
Yeah.
And then Sneed was second team, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I think Sneed was second. Yeah.
So I think just because you see the holes on Kansas City's roster, so you think that obviously that San Francisco defense is really going to hold down. But then Kansas City's defense, I think, holds down that San Francisco offense. So I think we're in for a treat. I think we're in for not like Super Bowl 53 or 54, whatever. When it was like 13-3, Patriots Rams. But I feel like I would not be shocked if this game ended 14-10. That's a little take from me. I have other things to say, but I'll let you talk.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with a lot of what both of you just said. For me, from a San Francisco standpoint, it's really about the wealth of skill position players that this offense has, and the motion that they use to get them available and open. I think Christian McCaffrey as an offensive player of the year candidate and winning is fantastic, but I thought he was absolutely. The way Kyle Shanahan uses him and attacks linebackers, he's basically a receiver. With the way they use that little scuttle motion to get him across the line of scrimmage and get him in the teeth of the defense. I think Willie Gay and Nick Bolton are going to struggle heavily with that. They're both great linebackers against the run, but in pass coverage, that is a middle of the Chiefs defense that has been shaky at times. However, this Chiefs secondary, everybody wants to talk about this week. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, blah, 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 blah. I want to talk about L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech's very own.
Is the best corner in football right now. I'm sorry.
Yes, he is.
He is. I want a L'Jarius Sneed press run. I am sick and tired of GOAT conversations, of Taylor Swift, Travis. L'Jarius Sneed conversations need to happen. L'Jarius Sneed.
Trent McDuffie conversations.
And Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie's good. But L'Jarius Sneed. We need to emphasize that.
Yeah, definitely.
I
completely agree.
This Chiefs defense, so great man coverage. They can come off the edge and blitz at times. Spags has, so many different ways to attack you with the depth of them. Justin Reed, Texans legend Justin Reed, has been so good this defense.
He's been great.
They are so exciting to watch, man. And I can say the same about this Niners offense. So exciting to watch. That is the side of the ball that I'm really most excited for, I would say, is the matchup between those two. On the other side of the ball, that might be where this game gets won, but it might not be pretty at times. I like some of the things y'all are saying about that San Francisco defense, but I'm a lot lower on them. They were 17th against the run in DVOA this year. 17th. They hadn't finished outside of the top 10 any year the last 3. They struggled. It showed last week against Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. It showed the week before against Aaron Jones. I think that's going to be an issue with the Chiefs' run game that's so great downhill with Isaiah Pacheco at times. They finished just outside the top 10 in that this year. So I think that's going to be an issue matchup. And then another issue matchup is the fact that the Chiefs are missing their starting left tackle in Joe Thuney. I feel like that hasn't been talked about enough as well. That is massive, yes. On top of the fact
especially when you got Chase Young and Nick Bosa coming off the
yeah,
edge.
exactly. Yep. And Juwan Taylor has not been good. He has not been.
Awful.
He got paid a lot of money, and he's not good. So I think that's an issue as well. The Niners play a lot of base defense, which can create some issues. The Chiefs have been really good against that throughout this season. It's more been when teams mix up coverages against Mahomes that's different. But I don't really know what Steve Wilks has up his sleeve. He showed a lot of success just a year ago in Carolina running a more complicated scheme. It seems like he's kind of been stuck in the Robert Saleh bag throughout the rest of the season. So does he try to mix it up for a Super Bowl matchup? This is a huge opportunity for him. He could have a Todd Bowles level game, and we could be looking at him as a head coaching candidate just a year from now, just like he was, basically a year ago in Carolina. So I think this is a massive.
We don't forget that stint. We
don't
forget that stint in Arizona. That was like
Todd Bowles with
horrific.
The Jets. Like,
but I still don't think Todd Bowles is a good coach.
He's not a GOAT, but he got hired. So
do you want a playoff game against a team that we know?
Yes, very well. A little too well. I think this is a big Steve Wilks legacy game.
Oh man, well I'm sure he's ready. As Kansas City wins by 45.
Maybe. But a huge factor of that base defense is also Patrick Mahomes' scrambling ability. And the Ravens, through the first half of that game, tried to kind of just run this zone coverage straight up and, force Mahomes to try to find the holes, and he did exactly that. So they're going to have something a little more inventive than that, like the Ravens did in the second half. If they're going to beat this Kansas City team. I'm so excited, man. I'm sure you guys can tell, like, this is awesome.
It's a great matchup. It's just like perfect.
Yeah. I was more excited last year, but outside of last year, I have not been this excited since the last time these two teams played, and it's going to be a really great matchup. So
I don't know. I think I might have been a little bit more excited for Tampa, Kansas City a couple of years ago, just because of the Brady Mahomes matchup, but.
Maybe, yeah.
And seeing Antonio Brown in the Super Bowl, Gronk in the Super Bowl, it was just a fun team at the time.
Known great citizen Antonio Brown at the moment.
Yeah. That was a fun game, though. It was great to see all that go down. But yeah, no, everything you said is absolutely true. George Kittle's questionable, which is a little scary.
He's gonna play.
I think, yeah.
He's gonna play.
Yeah.
I think something we didn't talk about on the Kansas City defense is Charles Omenihu going down. Yeah. That's massive off the edge. So I think really that needs to be addressed.
Big George Karlaftis game. Ethan's guy.
This could be a big George
Karlaftis guy too. He's one of us.
Yep.
Like some Greek genes, but this could be a great game. I'd love to see the way the Chiefs try to get Isaiah Pacheco the ball. As you said, not the best run defense. Yeah, obviously a great pass rush team. Obviously great linebackers. For some reasons, can't put it together when it comes to running. Getting stops in the run game. So I'm really intrigued to see how. Because I know Andy Reid's one of the most creative head coaches of all time. So I'm sure he's going to have plenty of ways to get Pacheco. So that's going to be fun to watch. I'd watch the Patrick Mahomes run game. A lot of man, especially when San Francisco runs man to man. That he's not the most athletic player, but he makes it work. He really, we see many games in the playoffs where he's hurt teams with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a big one to watch. I really really would like to see, Leandre, I don't know his first name, but Lenore for the 49ers. I mean, he had a awful game last week. Really like to see him matched up against Rashee Rice, pretty much outside of Travis Kelce is Kansas City's only viable option at wide receiver at this point. I mean, unless Kadarius Toney got better gloves, but I don't think he did. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd love to see the way San Francisco gets Brandon Ayuk involved. I mean, obviously we talked about how good Trent McDuffie and how good L'Jarius Sneed are, but could we talk about how good Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are?
I didn't even mention them, and that's crazy.
Like, though, that is strength on strength.
Yeah.
Just pure, like, heavyweight going right at each other, that's going to be a beautiful sight. And no one will talk about it because everyone hates Brock Purdy, but it's a pretty damn good quarterback matchup. Obviously, you have the guy who's well on his way to becoming the greatest quarterback of all time, and whether you like it or not, it's has some truth to it. But everyone hates the game manager, but he's here, and he's stepped up, and he's made. And yes, he's had his moments in these playoffs, but both against Detroit and Green Bay in the late moments of the game, he did what he needed to do. So they're here for a reason.
Well, and I mean, what I've said since week 0, he's not a game manager, man. Like, he's a gamer. He is really the exact opposite of what a game manager is.
They had one like 5 years ago.
Yes, they did, and that's the
Jimmy
reason
G.
why. Yeah, they fell short. So I mean, look at any offensive metric. This Niners team is one of the best offenses, not just of the past year or two, not just of the past 5. One of the best offenses ever. So
yeah,
like,
you're not doing that with a game manager. You're not doing that. There's a reason this didn't happen with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Now, also Christian McCaffrey wasn't there, granted, yes, but it doesn't take much to be good in the San Francisco running back room. So I mean, we've seen Elijah Mitchell and whatever the hell, Raheem Mostert. So, but that's not me saying that McCaffrey is a product of the system. That's just
system running back.
Yeah. He is the running back. He is the system.
Like James Harden, yeah.
Yeah.
James Harden. Oh boy. Oh wow, we're in for a treat. I mean, the over/under is set at 47.5. Oh, I'm slamming the under. That's me. Sorry, but I don't know how much betting we do on here, but
we don't have any betting sponsors, so there's not.
I'm not allowed to discuss.
Yeah, we're also too young. With my Monopoly money, I'd say over, just because the offenses are the I guess magnitude of the offenses outweighs the quality of the defenses. Like, obviously KC is great defensively, but I think San Francisco just does too much for them. Like, I think if Deebo doesn't eat, then Brandon Ayuk will eat. If George Kittle doesn't eat, then it's just like a cycle. Like, if this guy doesn't eat, then somebody else will. Like, that's just how the team operates. And
definitely.
I can't say that about Kansas City. Of course, you can say that about like 3 guys, as opposed three with not as much confidence as San Francisco's 4. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Mahomes. He'll make it work.
Yeah. Like, he won last year with similar-ish caliber weapons. Like, MVS still on the team. Kadarius Toney had a really good Super Bowl, guys. He did.
This is actually. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying Juju was there last year. I think that's for most of the season they were kind of missing that until Rashee Rice stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was gonna say, this is actually, I believe, the 1-year anniversary of, I think it was Patrick Mahomes declaring that Marquez Valdez-Scantling was a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
So true.
So
that's so.
I believe that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, these Chiefs pass catchers.
I wonder if he's watched the film.
That
I mean, yeah,
Probably a little
take
too
his
much
job, yeah.
this year. Probably a little too much. These Chiefs pass catchers are gonna struggle at times. We know that. But what I've loved that Kansas City has started doing over the past couple weeks is they've been getting Noah Gray and Justin Watson a lot more involved in this offense than they had been. It's a lot of 2 tight end sets. It's a lot of taking a lot of pressure off of Kelsey so that he can slip into these zones. They're not double and triple teaming him with the slot corner and the linebacker anymore, which is absolutely absurd. So
Yeah.
I'm confident that Kansas City will continue to do that. Will it matter because Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw are on the field? I'm not sure, but I think that's a good strategy. And Justin Watson's been okay. Like,
He's Justin Watson. It works.
It works. It's Mahomes, it's Reed, it's Spagnuolo. You can say whatever you want about either side in this game. At the end of the day, you have unstoppable force, immovable object, and that's what makes this perfect.
Well, Joe Tooney has been officially ruled out.
Yep. So it'll be out
along with Jerick McKinnon.
Oh no.
Okay.
Who I feel like just randomly shows up in these games. So
yeah. It'll be our boy Clyde Edwards-Helaire stepping up.
Go. Absolute dog.
First round pick, guys.
Yeah.
Not even like a top 3 running back in his class, like pre-draft.
Yeah. Yep. That was a wild
Taylor.
One.
Swift and Taylor.
Yep. Well, and isn't that the draft they drafted McDuffie in the second round?
No, that was in the first round. That was the next year.
That was in the first round next year. I don't know. They had a good second round.
They had the first from the Tyreek trade, and then they got Karlaftis and McDuffie. So
that'll do it.
Actually, I think they drafted L'Jarius Sneed in the second round.
Yeah.
I remember he made his. I remember the follow-up game. Like the first game of the year, and like the next year was against Houston, and yeah. I just remember L'Jarius Sneed making his NFL debut.
Yep. I might buy a L'Jarius Sneed jersey.
Yeah, let's not do that.
All right. Are we ready
to buy Phillies jerseys? But you'll buy a L'Jarius.
But I'll buy L'Jarius. L'Jarius Sneed's different. It's places.
Oh. All right then.
Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Who's gonna start?
I'm gonna go first. Ethan.
Okay.
Ethan go.
Okay. I don't care about the betting odds of being, but can I have that again just for a barometer of what the score?
Over under 47.5.
That's way too low. I'll say.
And the spread is 1.5 to San Francisco.
I'll say San Fran 32, KC 29.
Unique.
Yeah, I mean it's not gonna be like a game-winning field goal from third-round pick Jake Moody, but
more like a game-losing field goal. I feel like
it'll just come down to the wire, and that'll be the.
Harrison Butker shanks a 23-yard field goal to tie it.
Yeah. In the spirit of Tyler Bass, yeah.
Yep. Adam, go.
Okay. I've thought a lot about this. I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I think if, like you guys said, if I just looked at this on paper again and again and again, I'd probably pick San Francisco. I've actually picked against the Chiefs in every single Super Bowl they've been in, believe it or not. So that's
except Tampa one.
Right, except the Tampa one. There we go. But something about the dominance of this defense and Spags, and I mean the way they've controlled the ball with this offense, and then just the last couple weeks with this San Francisco machine. I mean, if you looked at the numbers, this would be easy. But for 3 weeks, the Niners have not looked like the Niners that they are analytically, and the Chiefs have not looked like the Chiefs that they are analytically. And so I think in this situation, I'm going to have to put my faith in Mahomes. I'm going to have to put my faith in such an incredible coaching staff, because I think it's dead even. And I think that will end up being the difference maker, as it has been so many years in a row now. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think this is going to come down to a Patrick Mahomes drive with 2 or 3 minutes left. And I'm going to say 26-20. The Chiefs win it.
All right. Well, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think this is a close game going into the fourth quarter, and I think it's in the fourth quarter one team's gonna pull ahead. I think there's gonna be a crucial mistake made by somebody. I'm still trying to figure out who that somebody's gonna be. I'm just talking while I figure out who I'm gonna pick. But I don't know. I'm 4 years strong right now, in a row picking. I've gotten everyone right since it's the first Mahomes Super Bowl. Oh God, I don't even know. This is so close. 1.5. I feel like San Francisco should be a 0.5 favorite. Not even 1.5. Like that's how close I think this is gonna be.
I mean, I've seen everyone I'm seeing is largely picking the Chiefs, and I agree with them to an extent, but I don't think people can fathom, just because of how close it's been in these playoffs, what this Niners offense is. And I think with what this defense has done over the past couple of years, there has to be a little faith that they're going to be able to do something similar. So, I mean, it's dead even, man.
All right, I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm not gonna pick against Patrick Mahomes. So give me Kansas City 21-14.
There we go.
Yep.
Well, there we
I'll
have
have to
it,
wait another
gentlemen.
year to put the Brock Purdy as a game manager. Thanks to Russ.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's kind of. I just don't want to. I feel like it's just so difficult. It's so difficult to pick because because I feel like they each have such strong arguments, but when it comes down to it, I mean, I guess they have more. If you care about championship, whatever big game experience, then it's the Chiefs, obviously.
Well, we didn't even talk about Kyle Shanahan, and
Who is a notorious choker.
It's 28-3. It's all these NFC Championship games.
Yeah.
Finally,
I'm not blaming 28.
Yeah, last year is kind of a disaster.
I'm not blaming 28
beyond his control, but
yeah. I'm also not blaming 28-3 on Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan was not the defensive coordinator that let New England score 31 in a row.
He also could have 4 more points, but you know.
Yeah, I know, but you also can't control New England scoring 31 in a row.
It's a complicated legacy. You can tell this one means a lot to him. I mean, you've seen him all season. If you've watched his press conferences, he looks horrible. Like legitimately, like you can tell it's weighed on him over these years. If he wins this game, he is automatically one of the best coaches of our generation. He is either way, but he cements himself in that way, just with the way he's revolutionized offense in this league.
Yep.
They've done it so many ways this year. I mean, I read, it was a Ben Solak article. He was talking about the revolution of this offense, and it was how much the Shanahan offense uses play action just to, open up the outside run, open up the other layers of this defense, find holes and zones. They're not even using play action anymore. They've revolutionized it again. They're just simply under center running play action concepts, but with these motions, they're able to get receivers into the same positions that they would be in the same way as tricking an offense through play action. So it's just, they continue to revolutionize, and it's so hard to stop. So let's not pile on Kyle Shanahan, even if they lose this game.
Yeah.
Let's give him the respect he deserves. It's pretty cool.
And I wouldn't hold this against Andy Reid if he loses, because he has literally nothing left to prove. Like, he has 3 rings, 5. This is his seventh Super Bowl appearance?
It
6?
has
Yep.
to be, right?
I think it's 6.
Eagles.
Because
Chiefs,
he
Chiefs,
won
Chiefs.
3, lost to the Bucks. Okay, lost to the Bucks, lost to the Niners in my head, and then lost to the Patriots in 2005. So that's 6. All-time leading coach in terms of wins for the Eagles and the Chiefs. And he's at least I'm going to guess top 10.
Yeah.
And that's probably lowballing it in terms of all-time wins. Like, first ballot, no question.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about the Steve Wilkes stakes. We talked about the Shanahan stakes. If Andy Reid wins this game, we start to have like LeBron Jordan conversations between him and Belichick, because he will now be at 3 rings. He'll be at however many Super Bowl appearances. If he's around for the rest of this Mahomes era, he continues to win.
Yeah.
It at least becomes a conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, LeBron only has 4.
Yeah.
He's been to more, and
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
Been to more, but does
yeah.
it matter?
We can use the 4 and 6 argument to say he lost 3 straight NFC championships.
Yeah.
To the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Rams? I think it was the Rams.
Rams, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Well, the thing too is
it was 3 in a row, by the way, in the
yeah. Oh no, it was torturous. The thing is, I feel like Andy Reid and this West Coast offense style developed a scheme that's now being used more heavily across the NFL. His influence across the NFL is so great. Whereas Belichick developed a culture, and that influence is so great. But when it comes down and they both have equal rings, which may be something that occurs at one point, it'll come down to what you prefer more. And for me personally, I think a scheme is much more impact than, the tough guy Patriot way or whatever they call it. So the debate.
Yeah, freaking heat culture nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. The Patriot way. Whoa.
Exactly. Would you rather have Pat Riley in the Hall of Fame, or would you rather have, I don't know,
Pop?
Yeah, exactly.
Bill Belichick is Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
I think it's Pop.
5 and then 5. I think Riley has more. He has 6.
Maybe Kerr and Pop. Maybe that's a better one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Andy Reid was.
He's been given just such
on
a good
fraud
team.
watch until 2019. So and that's like 20 years of football.
Oh, yeah. Jesus. It's a legacy, and this game will be defined by legacies, that's for sure. So we're happy to be back with you. We're happy to be all here. This has been as glorious as it always is. And who are we gonna fire? Because I have no.
Daryl.
I think we know.
It
is Daryl.
That's it.
Crumble Cookie Man himself.
Yep.
Crumble Cookie Monster.
Yep.
I can't blame him. I do like crumble cookies.